Hello, friends. Whew. Repositioning here. This is my first time teaching a live trapeze yoga video. Trapeze yoga is so fun, but it's a little bit different. And I want to make sure you can see the whole trapeze as we move through this practice. Today's theme is groundedness. So we're going to start seated underneath the trapeze, do a lovely little flow, and then we'll do it all over again with a theme of expansion. And I invite you to notice what changes between the two, what changes in your own body and in your own experience when we practice focused on a really grounded rootedness element, and then when we practice focused on a really expansive kind of outward reaching element. So again, I'm going to start seated underneath. No rush here. I'm going to back y'all up a little bit more. I apologize for the lighting. Doing the best we can. Okay. Any seated position that's comfortable to you, I invite you to kind of move the flesh around of your backside until you feel like, okay, grounded against the floor. As you feel grounded here, take a couple rounds of full breath. Whatever that means for you, you can exhale through your nose, you can exhale through your mouth. Eventually, allow that effort in your breath to slowly decrease. And as your breath begins to feel a little more natural, a little more rhythmic, I invite you to find some circles. Allow your rib cage to circle around your hips. And from the movement generated in your ribs, add some sway, some movement through your shoulders, maybe through your head and neck. As much as it feels good to do so, really leaning into the groundedness of your legs. With your own breath as your guide, switch directions. Take your time to circle or sway your way back to a more neutral spine. As you find center, I invite you next to move into some cat-cow stretches. You can do this still seated. Inhale to draw your belly, kind of flare your ribs forward, chin lifts off your chest. Exhale, chin tucks in, back rounds, maybe your shoulders round. Again, feel free to do this from the firm foundation of your sit bones against the ground, your legs against the floor. If you prefer to lift up into tabletop for cat-cow, that's another completely valid and wonderful option here. Same movement. Inhales, draw the belly forward, chin upward. Exhale, chin tucks in, back rounds deeply. Most important here is to flow with your own breath. So at the pace of your own rhythmic inhales and exhales. Using your breath to generate that movement. If you're not on hands and knees, I invite you to begin to make your way there. If you already are, take a couple more rounds of cat-cow. And then softly here with your own breath, slowly roll up over your knees. So knees maybe with either tops of the feet pressing in towards the floor or toes tucked under for stability on the floor. Lift your shoulders up over your hips and begin to reach for your mid handles. We're going to take some nice low lunges here. No rush. Using your handles for support, step your right foot forward in front of your right hip. And then when you're ready to, deep breath in, lean. Press your palms into your handles, let your hips lean forward. If this ever is uncomfortable on that front knee, walk your toes farther forward. We're going to take 4 full breaths here. Option to keep arms up and overhead, or just sway them a little bit side to side. Again, pressing into your handles. The handles almost like the floor, another point of groundedness and support. With your next exhale, slowly roll back. Hold on to your handle. We're going to kick the right toes off of the floor. So feel free to really squeeze your arms in towards the sides of your body. And then swing or step or slide your right knee under. Same thing, other side. Deep breath in. Left foot takes a big step forward. Full exhale, press into your handles. Again, foot behind you, right foot behind you can be flat towards the floor, or you can tuck your toes under. Add movement here if your body's craving movement, or pause. Enjoying your stretch as is. Wherever your arms are, palms are active against your handles. With another deep breath, pull your elbows in towards the sides of your bodies. Option to leave your left heel towards the ground, or to squeeze and lift your left toes upward. One more strong breath. And then step or slide or swing your left knee back underneath the body. Using your handles or not, begin to roll back towards your heels, toes tucked under now. So toes are fully tucked all the way under, looking for a little bit of a stretch through your hips, through the arches of your feet. Trying to demonstrate there, Ralph insisted on other plans. If you're holding onto your handles and that feels really strong and sturdy for you, roll back onto your heels, move towards a forward fold. Feet may need to walk forward and drop downward. Once again, palms pressing forward. So we're allowing this openness to take place through the front body. I feel like it's awkward that you can't see from the side here, but we're creating a little bit of that cow-shaped stretch in the spine. Slowly but surely release your arms, roll on up. As you roll up, step forward so that you can take a big inhale, reach arms up and overhead. Exhale, cactus arms, elbows down, fingers wide, hips pulling in underneath your shoulders again. 2 more rounds of breath like so. Inhale, deep breath, reach up. Exhale, cactus arms. Feet firmly pressed towards the floor. And from that foundation, inhale, really lifting. Exhale, elbows dropping wide. We'll take another inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale, step back, wrap your arms around your trapeze. So we're in the main rig portion, none of the handles, the main sling. And lean as far back as feels good to lean here. You're more than welcome to kind of bend your knees, walk your feet wide and forward. A little bit like a starfish pose, except we're on a diagonal. And from here, make sure that your feet are rooted firmly towards the ground, and then gently find some side body stretches. I personally like to bend into the knee of whatever side I'm leaning towards. You can also do this with a straight leg, up to you. What suits your own body is perfect with me. Take some big side stretches, at least 2 to 3 each side, trusting the strength of your feet as you stretch. One more time each side, whatever pace your body is choosing. With your own wonderful breath, bring arms back behind your body. A couple options here. You can bring fingers to lace and drop downward. You can also bring hands up and behind your head, keeping some of that openness through your chest. Up to you. I personally like hands behind the body for this, but we'll walk those strong feet forward, bend into your knees, let your chin lift up towards the sky, deepening your own back bend. 3 strong breaths here. Once again, I'm going to try to turn to the side for you. So you can see the supported back bend. Arms can be down or reaching behind your head for support. One more full breath in. Exhale, slowly release. We're going to make our way down to the floor. I invite you, as you bring your arms forward through your sling, through the main part of your rig, to reach for your mid handles again. Lower yourself with strength. Sit bones back down towards the ground. Stretch legs out long and wide. And then take a couple movements here. Maybe those movements through your spine look a little bit like cat-cow, a little bit of folding forward and lifting back up. Maybe they continue to look like those side body stretches, or perhaps some combination that looks a little bit more like those circles that we started with. Either way, when you're ready to, this is our final pose in this flow. I invite you to keep your knees a little bit soft, but to really root down through your heels and again through your sit bones. Feel free to move the flesh around as needed till you truly feel grounded. You can feel the floor being really supportive in your deep, wide-legged forward fold stretch. Arms can come to blocks if you have them handy. Arms can be straight, hands can be far forward, close to your body, whatever suits you here. Four to 6 full rounds of breath. Sink in, let the floor support you. Give your core time to relax. With your own perfect breath, roll on back up, still no rush. And then I invite you to tuck your heels back in or in any other way to come back towards your starting seated position. So whatever that was, whether legs were crossed, whether you're in a butterfly pose, whether you had one leg extended long or not, come back to kind of your starting position. And we'll conclude just as we began. So as you feel your sit bones kind of roll on back, as you give your hips that moment to kind of relax into your sturdy seated shape, Take a couple rounds of full breath, exaggerated breath, maybe exhaling through the mouth, intentionally exhaling through the nose if that's your preference. When it feels good to allow your breath to return to a more natural, less effortful pace. And I invite you to send your breath all the way down towards your tailbone, as though you could breathe from the rootedness of your body all the way up. Three more rounds of breath, still all yours to explore here. In any way authentic to your own practice, bring your focus towards your heart or center. And thank you for grounding with me today.